What I think the worst of medicine is well, there's many things, but mainly for me is mass vaccination.
The worst in medicine for me, I guess, really depends on the definition of medicine, but one thing I feel quite strongly about is supplements. I think it's a great, fantastic money-making scheme, and I don't believe it necessarily does people well to take them, and yet it makes money for big business. So for me, that's definitely the worst in medicine.
My daughter, that's why I stopped vaccinating my children, because my daughter who had the vaccine, after the second vaccine, was chronically ill for a long time. And then I didn't vaccinate my other two. And touch wood, they've been fine.
In my opinion, the worst in medicine is medicine that doesn't listen to the patient. So I suppose an evidence base that isn't based on what patients experience and feel and what they find from the treatment is really, for me, the very worst of medicine.
I personally think the worst in medicine is misdiagnosis, when the GP refuses to refer the patient to a specialist in spite of the fact that the symptoms still persist.
I think the worst in medicine is homeopathy because it's non-evidence-based, and I think it's unfair on patients to be able to do it and not understand that there's no evidence behind it.
From what I've seen of the lineup, I think the worst of medicine, or what I can recognize, is the obsession about healthy living, because you get this directions about how to best eat and drink, or which kind of medicines would help you, but it kind of, I think it disrupts people's natural feeling about what they do, and they get really obsessed about this.
I voted for the migration to Western countries, and the reason why is because I thought it was a great economic issue and also a medical issue, and I think it was one that hit home really, kind of affected me, and I know people who have suffered with migration and then come from an area.
I voted for Michael Fitzpatrick because I think he addresses one of the most, or of what was presented today, the most acute question about medicine in our culture anyway.
I voted for health obsession in modern day culture because I just see it everywhere. People are busy running and in a gym and they're all looking so bloody miserable. You cannot possibly believe that this is actually beneficial to their health.
If people choose to be obsessional about their health lifestyles, it's actually a compliment to medicine generally that they want to take on board medical advice, but it's actually people's personal decisions if they wish to do that.
I ended up voting for Hippocrates because I believe that the medical profession is its own worst enemy and is a monopolistic supplier worldwide with blinkers, and that came out very strongly in his argument.
I voted against vaccination because I thought that argument was clearest. One of my problems with the debate was that I thought a lot of the subjects were too woolly and there wasn't enough time to discuss the issues.
The only one who actually gave a concrete example about really bad medical practice is the one, Bill Shabas, who spoke about the migration of health away from very poor, undeveloped countries like sub-Saharan Africa. And it's a global reflection of a postcode lottery that happens in Britain. And I think that actually the best practice in medicine is to provide adequate global standard of care to everybody who needs it. And if it's not happening somewhere, then that's very bad medical practice. So Bill Shabas got my vote.